Yeah, I mean, we just, tried to, create maybe some confusion out top and tried to, get Josh downhill and maybe Kevin flaring back for a three. Josh got downhill. He, got the defense to collapse and obviously made an incredible pass to Vooch in the corner, and, Vooch was able to knock it down. So it was a great play by Josh, and, I think Kevin kind of, the way he came up, he kind of slipped out of it, and it just gave Josh a little bit of a lane to get downhill. I give Josh credit because the play before, I think he got caught up in the air and he turned it over, but the next time he really got everybody collapsed on him and he waited, and then he made the pass, which led to a pretty good look for us at the end.
When you say Josh got downhill, to me that aspect and the notable difference in defensive energy between the first and second half is why you won this game. I mean, Josh was getting downhill repeatedly in the second half, and then your defense really.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in the first half physically. I thought we got beat up on the glass by them. There was like loose balls, hustle plays, coupled with the fact that they shot it really, really well. And that happens sometimes. But when they're shooting it well, and you're giving up 14 offensive rebounds, that's why you're down by 20. And I give the guys a lot of credit in that second half of responding, and we rebounded better. I think we ended up outscoring them on second chance points, and we were really being dominated.
Yeah.
I thought Patrick got to the glass. I thought Modest got to the glass. Vooch was on the glass. We did a much better job of that, and we just don't have the luxury to not, invest for the full 48 minutes on the physicality things. Like Isaac, took a charge. There was just things. There was better rim protection. There was better physicality at the rim. There was better verticality at the rim. We had none of that in the first half, and that to me, we were very, very fortunate to win. I'm happy they really, fought, never gave up, and really battled and competed. And I'm really happy that they were able to win and proud of the way they played. But we can't. We're not going to be a very, very good team if we just try to rely on running up and down the floor and shooting the ball and trying to get downhill and just spray it around. That's part of the iteration, I think, for this group is we've got to be more physical. And you saw the difference, right? Like, as well as those guys shot it, and they didn't shoot at the same rate in the second half, but as well as they shot it, you can overcome good shooting nights if you do a lot of other things. And, we were fortunate that we did enough of them in the second half.
Your thought process just on that, call a timeout and set the play there the last play. You let that go.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it. I mean, Josh could have maybe thrown the ball up to Modest. I don't know. I was probably, to be honest with you, kicking myself a little bit. I thought Josh got hung up a little bit on the possession before that, and thought maybe I should have used, a timeout there. But I just wanted to make sure we were somewhat organized coming down there. I don't mind letting them go. I probably would have let them go had the score been tied, maybe. But I think the previous possession, the way it went, I just wanted to get us a little bit more organized. And, listen, Josh could have made a great play prior to that, and we got a shot at maybe we scored on that possession. But I just, again, I'm sure, I felt like Modest was maybe going to be somewhat open on the lane going when Josh rebounded. I don't know if Josh would have thrown it to him or not, but I just wanted to get it real quick just so we could advance it and go to either side.
Really, honestly, Maxey was such a big part in that first quarter and building that lead. I think you started, correct me if I'm wrong, Trey, and then later on you went to Isaac, and then Isaac by the end of the game. It's full court pressing him. How did you sort of see Isaac's impact play out during the duration of that game, and was it maybe the most comfortable you've seen him be?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Josh made a great play at the end of the game, and Vooch, made a great shot, and there was a lot of moments in the second half, but the one guy I thought in both halves was really impactful in the game was Isaac. I thought he played a great game from start to finish, and he was guarding a lot of different people. He picked up on Maxey, and the thing with Maxey, when they were bringing two to the ball for him, Embiid or a screener, we started blitzing him. But, a lot of his stuff in the first half was just in space, quite honestly, where he was just breaking us down and either stepping back or going by us. And, we decided just to try to send more bodies at him because he really, really had it going, and we weren't able to shut him off. And I thought, Isaac, just the effort that he gave on him for the amount of time he was on it was great. And I thought Trey gave great effort as well. But we kind of changed the coverage to start the game right after that middle of the second, when he really started to get going. We just started trying to trap him everywhere, get the ball out of his hands. And then I thought Isaac did a good job of not letting him get it back.
And obviously, you done this a long time. Coming into the season, you know, you have your set of guys, you know the style you want to play, you have the principles you want to preach. But with a start like this and a win like tonight, like, is this one of those nights where you feel like what you're building is tangible, like you're seeing the fruits of what you're building?
Yeah, I mean, to me, for our team, the iteration was, totally changing the way we played last year offensively with the pace and speed we played with. We went from maybe a team that didn't really take very many threes just because of the way we were built as a team. And we kind of became a lot faster. We shot a lot more threes. And not that we weren't preaching physicality last year, but it was something that we struggled with, quite honestly. And if we couldn't outrun people and get out in transition and score that way, we struggled in the half court. And we struggled at times defensively in the half court. And, the whole thing that we had talked about from the very, very start was if the games are always going to come down to, I think, a lot of times things you can really, really control and put your focus on, right? And I've said this before, 95% of the games play without the ball in your hands. And you know what, like these two plays really stood out to me in the second half just because it was unbelievable growth. Like, we can't have Patrick and Modest go through a half with 0 rebounds between the both of them. And then you saw those two guys on the glass and challenging stuff, right? Like, they're capable of doing those things. We just need them to do it. And they had a huge impact on the game. And like I said, people will talk about Vucevic's shot at 3.2 seconds, but there's 24 minutes of lead up there of some plays that these guys made, I think, that were really good. But that's what we have to do. We've got to put our body in place. We've got to be more physical. We've got to collectively rebound. We have to share the ball, and we have to run. It takes a lot, both mentally and physically, for them to do what I'm asking them to do. But if we don't do those things, we don't have enough margin for error to overcome. Like, we're not going to throw the ball like they do to Embiid or Maxey and just get out of the way. We just don't have that. So, again, I just appreciate the way they've worked and the way they've gotten along and the chemistry and all the stuff they do. But again, it's 7 games into the year, and I've said this before. Every coach in this league right now is fighting for consistency, and that's what we got to keep fighting for. So when we do those things, we give ourselves the best opportunity.
Yeah, big win. But again, no, we can't rely on making these comebacks. I think the way we started the game, it's just we can't have those type of starts, especially not against a team like Philly. Obviously, we showed a lot of resilience to be able to come back, to play, to stick with it until the end. It was a great win, a great way to come back. But yeah, again, I think we just have to focus more on why we started the way we did and not have that happen again.
Would you talk about what Josh Giddey has been able to do, especially tonight? Josh Giddey.
What I talk about with him?
What he did, what he was able to do.
He played great again. I think he had another triple-double. He just makes a lot of plays for us. With his scoring, with his playmaking, even just getting downhill and creating inside-out action for us. His rebounding has been huge as well. He has that size, so that helps us a lot. But yeah, I just think he's also one of the guys that even when we get down, he's always staying positive, always pushing us to continue. Tries to initiate, fast break points, pushing the ball, which we need to do as well. So he was really good again for us tonight. When he plays that way, it opens up so much for everybody.
What did it just take for you guys to rally from being part of that down? Like, what kind of belief, where did that come from to sort of channel that, make this kind of come back?
I just think we have belief. I think we also were aware that we played really, really bad basketball in the first quarter, especially defensively. I mean, giving up 45 points, literally putting no resistance at all. Even when the shots they missed, we didn't rebound the ball. We didn't do any of the little things, and a lot of those things were controllables, things that we know we can do better than we've done. So I think that gave us belief that we can do it. And I think also, there are small pieces when we did those things for a few defensive possessions where we were able to make small runs that kind of gave us belief that we could do it, obviously. And then at the end, I just thought it was a great team effort, starting with the defense and then on the glass, and then also offensive glass like that as well. Got some easy ones, and then I think we just got back to playing our game, defending, being aggressive, and running, and that was the big differences from the first half to the second half.
Could you take us through that final play for you, how that worked?
Yeah, actually coming out of the timeout, I didn't really see the last spot Billy put me in. So I asked him, like, hey, Coach, where do I go after I set the screen? And he was just like, just go to the corner. I was like, okay. So I ended up sitting there away screen and got to the corner, and Josh and Matas came up in that two-man action. Matas slipped, so Josh got to the rim, and Embiid helped. So Josh made a great pass. Yeah, just, try to shoot. I saw somebody close at me, and I just try to shoot as high as I can. And glad it went up. It's a big shot for us. I'm glad I made it. It was great, especially in this building, to feel the energy from the crowd. Getting my teammates hyped, everybody. It was a great moment. I know growing up as a kid, you always think of these moments when you might make big shots and things like that. So. Great moment for us, great win. Glad I was able to make it.
You had some really strong defensive sequences against Embiid down the stretch. What were you trying to do with those there?
Yeah, just be a little more aggressive, make him a little more uncomfortable. I felt like in the first half I wasn't physical enough. I was kind of letting him get to his spots, playing too easy. Even on that first play of the game, I fouled him on something we talked about when he's trying to get those. So I just, second half, just try to be a little more aggressive, try to get him out of his spots. Not getting be too comfortable, and so some of those he still got pretty good looks. He missed some. I was able to play good defense, but I think also a lot of it was my teammates helping me as well, and then on those misses we were able to rebound. But yeah, just trying to be a little more physical, make him more comfortable.
Which I know it's early, and you guys have tried to not get too ahead of yourselves 7 games in, but Josh said this is one of the best wins that he's been a part of, to be able to come back and have that end. Does this feel special to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you come back down 20-some and win the game, it's big, especially against a team like Philly's been playing great so far. I think it just shows the resilience we have, the belief we have, the togetherness we have, and so that's been good. But again, I think it's also important that we understand this is not how you become a good team by getting down 20 and then waking up and start to finally play. So. We have to play better from the beginning. I think this game was a great example of what we can be when we play the way we need to, when we do the little things that we talk about. We play hard on defense when we compete, when we're aggressive, when we rebound, and then the opposite in the first quarter, especially when we don't want to do any of it, doesn't look good. So hopefully we can use this as a good learning experience for us, and understand that we have to do this for 48 minutes.
It was basically just get it in, and then Kev was going to come on a slip-out screen. I was going to get downhill on my left, and he waited. I was probably waiting for him to come a little earlier, but he came at about the 8-second mark, and then once he got up there, I tried to get downhill and make a play, and I got downhill left-hand, and they all kind of collapsed, and Vuce was open in the corner, and he hit a big shot, so all I had to do was get it to him. We trusted him to make that play, and he made a huge shot for us.
It's early, but you guys are now 5-0 at home. Obviously, that's a pretty impressive comeback victory over a good team. What's this kind of team's belief and confidence level right now?
Yeah, we're always confident in each other, and I think it was a great test tonight to see how we responded after our first loss in New York. Another really good team coming in here tonight that's been hot as well. So this was an awesome test, and unbelievable resilience by the group to come out the second half the way we did. And down 20, 25. Would have been easy to throw the towel in and, call it a night, get ready for the next one. But credit to the guys. I thought our bench unit was unbelievable in keeping us in that game. And, I thought down the stretch executed really well. We did a great job. Vuce did an unbelievable job on Embiid late down the stretch, forcing him into tough middies, and we rebounded and ran. So team effort, total team effort tonight, but unbelievable win.
From a physicality standpoint, what changed for you guys in the second half?
I mean, we started exactly being physical. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. First half, teams was driving right through us. Maxey was doing whatever he wanted. They were offensive rebounding, Walker and Watford, but second half, I thought we did a much better job. We killed them. It kind of flipped, and we were much more physical. We rebounded the ball the way we needed to on both ends. But yeah, I think physicality, it was night and day from the first and second half.
Was that mentioned a lot during halftime in this locker room?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of and that's been a theme for us all year. We've wanted to be the more physical team and really emphasize that side of the ball. And I thought the first half, as I said, they did whatever they wanted. They pushed us around. In the second half, we came out, and it was the first thing Billy said when he came in with the break. And I even thought that the start of the third wasn't any better. It didn't get better. It was probably midway through the third. We started making a run, and when you get momentum, it's easy to do those things, but it's about doing them when you're down 20, 25, and the game feels like it's over. It's those times where you have to do it, and credit to the group. We did that, and dug ourselves out of a very deep hole, and got back in the game.
Josh, it's 7 games, but your numbers are striking through those 7 games. Can you just talk about how confident you are in your game right now?
Yeah, feeling good. And as I've said, kind of over the last 7 games, you get confidence from your teammates and your coaches believing in you and trusting you to make plays. And I'm very, very grateful and thankful for them that they allow me to be. They put me in positions to be successful. But as I said, I'm feeling good. We're feeling good as a group, and unbelievable response from a tough loss in New York, and to come out and beat a team like this, as hot as they are. We're feeling good about it.
Josh, obviously, Maxey had a lot to do with that first quarter, and building their lead, you guys start throwing bodies at him. Throughout the game, and Isaac spends a lot of time with him picking up full court. How would you describe Isaac's impact and just sort of what changed on the Maxey coverage?
He was huge, and I thought, as I said, the first half he was running around pretty freely, and we were trying different things on the pick and roll coverage. But second half we went into more of a denial and tried to keep the ball out of his hands as best we could. And Ice did an unbelievable job at doing that and made it tough on him. I thought any bucket Maxey had in that second half, whether it was a free throw or he kept getting down here for floaters, it was tough, and he had to earn it. And opposed to the first half, he was coming off screens, walking into threes. So, as I said earlier, night and day from the first half and second half, and Ice did an unbelievable job making everything tough. He had 39, but I thought the second half was a lot of tough buckets.
Can you walk us through that pass? Like, when did you kind of see Vucevic materialize? Because there's a lot of traffic, right? And you're like whipping it around. Just kind of what did you see as you walked through that?
Yeah, you got to make quick reads, and I had a similar play 30 seconds earlier where I turned it over and tried to thread through a gap. But, at the end, as I said, I got downhill left hand and I saw Embiid, collapse in the paint and left Vuce wide open in the corner. So he spaced the floor well. And as I said, you trust him to make that play, and I gave it to him, and he hit a big shot.
What was it like feeling the crowd right after that shot?
Unbelievable, but there was still 3 seconds, and they're a good team. They had the ability to make a shot to take the game back in their possession. So we knew the game wasn't over. Obviously, we tried to not celebrate that shot too much because there's still 3 seconds. But anytime there's a moment like that and the crowd gets behind you, it's an electric feeling.
Josh, whenever you're asked about your triple doubles, you typically downplay them, but you're the first Bull to post 2 straight double doubles since Michael Jordan in 1988-89. What's your reaction to that?
No, it's cool. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie about it and say it's not cool. But as I said, I think all the individual stuff comes as a byproduct of winning and being a part of a very, very fun team to play with. And as I said, I'm grateful that I've got teammates and coaches that allow me to be in positions to be successful. So, very, very fun group to play with. I love these guys that I get to go out there and compete with, and they make my job very easy.
Josh, you said it repeatedly over and over, like this season is young, you guys know that, but just the nature of the comeback, the win itself, like do you believe in signature wins? Do you feel like that's a way to describe tonight?
Tonight was one of the best wins that I've ever been a part of, just in terms of how bad we were down in that, early in the third, we're down 20, 25 points, and to gut that one out and dig ourselves out of the hole that we did was unbelievable. And as I said, it was 10, 11 guys tonight that contributed, and I thought both units, first and second, did an unbelievable job, probably in the last 18 minutes of the game to really bring it back. So we rebounded, we were physical, we did the things we needed to do, and to be the team that we want to be, that has to be a 48-minute thing. We can't wait till we're down 20 to start doing those things. So as I said, incredible fight back, and that's a very good win in front of a big crowd and against a team that's been as hot as anyone in the league. They were 5-1 coming into tonight, and feeling good, getting guys back healthy. So yeah, great win.